And to recap, they've basically replaced Nestor Cortez and Clay Holmes with Max Fried and Devin Williams. And they've replaced Juan Soto, Gleyber Torres, Alex Verdugo, and Anthony Rizzo with Cody Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt. And as of right now, 2 rookies, Jason Dominguez and probably Oswald Peraza. Which brings me to my next topic. These are some guys that we need to get better. Dominguez has got to play defense. We know that, of course. But we need some other guys to take big steps forward. And yes, we could get better than we were in 2024 with the right additions. So this segment, mission improvement.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it.
All right. So right now I've got 4 guys on the screen that I think need to improve in a big way for the Yankees to get better. Now, Anthony Volpe had an improved season last year. He hit less home runs, but he hit for a higher average. He went from 209 to 243. The on-base percentage was still under 300, but from April through about mid-May, he was unstoppable, and then he fell off. He got away from that game that he was playing early in the year. His swing got a little bit long. He needs to develop a little bit more consistency, stretch out those hot streaks, and really shorten those cold streaks, right? If he hits 265 this year, I think that's a success. That would be another 20-point improvement, 22 points. I want to see that on-base percentage get up to 333, so about a 40-point improvement there. I want a few more bombs. He hit 21 his first year, so the power's in there. 12 is okay. I'd like about 18 home runs. I'll take, split the difference, right? Hit a few more bombs, but also hit for a higher average. And the OPS, I want to go up by about 60 points. Now, he should get better just from getting stronger, just from being around the league a little bit more, getting closer to his prime. I could see him beating these numbers. I could see him hitting 280, 290 with 25 home runs. I really could. But right now, we'll take a modest improvement from Anthony Volpe. Austin Wells, I want the same kind of improvement that Volpe had from year 1 to year 2 for Wells to have from year 1 to year 2. I want that average going up to around 255, so a big jump there. On-base percentage, up a little bit more. I'm okay with him selling out for a little bit more power because we need to replace some of those home runs that we lost when Juan Soto took his act across town. I'm hoping for 20 home runs out of Austin Wells next year, which would be an improvement of 7 and a 750 OPS, so about a 32-point increase in OPS. And more playing time. I think all of that is well within reason. Now, here's the big one. Jason Dominguez, I need to take a big step forward. I need him to show us why he is the Martian, right? You don't get a nickname like the Martian and have your entire, international pool budget spent on you if you don't have some special talent. We've seen the exit velocity. We saw what he did when he first came up. We've seen what he's done in spring training a couple of times. The man is legit in terms of skills. Now it's just got to translate. I don't think he was put in a great position when he came up last year. He struggled. He was trying to take somebody's job who was still on the team. This year, a lot of that pressure is off. He's He's going to be 22. He's got all the talent in the world. It's all right in front of him. I should have had the sound effect for that ready. It's all right in front of us. If he hits 260, and let's take a look at his minor league numbers first. In 2024, his minor league numbers were great. 313 average, 376 on-base percentage, so he takes pitches. 11 home runs, 880 OPS. We know he has lots of power. We've seen it in the major leagues. He got called up, didn't do much, 179 average, but look at that on-base percentage, 313. He still took his walks. He still has patient at-bats. That's why I would consider him as a potential leadoff guy if he has a good spring training. 617 OPS in the majors last year. I want him to hit 260 this year with a 340 on-base percentage and 25 home runs. We need this guy to be a Rookie of the Year candidate. 760 OPS. I know those are kind of astronomical numbers. He's paid like a phenom. He was already paid like a phenom. He's treated like a phenom. He's shown all the signs when he first got called up before the elbow injury of being a phenom. He learned English really quickly. He shows all the signs of learning fast, of having a high baseball IQ. Now, defensively, there's no question. He struggled. There was a play he hesitated on his first call up this year to throw out a runner at home in the Little League game. That was a sign. And then he struggled with a couple of fly balls, triple deck syndrome, I think. Didn't even get used in the playoffs. I think his confidence was down a little bit. But I really think that he's got a chance to be special. So let's hope he bounces back. And then Oswald Peraza, if he plays, if he is indeed the third baseman, all you got to do is basically put up league average numbers. 250 average, 320 on base percentage, 15 home runs, 715 OPS, and his glove will make him a positive WAR player. So that's where we're at in terms of players who need to get better this offseason. Are the Yankees better in 2025 versus 2024? And I want to answer this question carefully because I think it's a very difficult question. I think in some ways we're better. I think in some ways we are. And I think in some ways we're not. I think not having Juan Soto definitely makes the lineup less dangerous, for sure. And I think that it makes it less entertaining. But on the depth chart, you can see how things are lining up right now. I think our pitching is in much better shape on paper. I mean, you have to account for possible injuries, too. We lost Garrett Cole for half a season. We lost Jonathan Loaisiga for the whole season. I have a little tradition with my friend Rob. Every year on New Year's Eve, which is coming up, one of us will say to the other, Happy New Year, good luck, we're not all going to make it. And that's true, and I feel like it's true of the pitching staff every year, too. They're not all going to stay healthy. You have to have the right mix of high-quality starting pitchers, of high-end relief pitchers throughout the season, and then when you make the playoffs, you got to have the right mix healthy. You can deal with some injuries. You're going to have some injuries. The question is, can you stay mostly healthy going into the playoffs? And that's a big reason why the Yankees made the World Series this year. Their pitching was solid. Devin Williams, instead of Clay Holmes, is 5 more wins. Minimum. Maybe 7 or 8. I'm not kidding. I know that sounds stupid. It's that dramatic. Clay Holmes was that bad in tight situations. One of the position players last year that I think really needs to step up is Jazz Chisholm. You know, he came over to the Yankees, got off to a hot start. He took a step back, but he's a left-handed bat that the Yankees are going to be counting on. He's got to be able to hit against lefties. He's got to play second base well. He's got to be heads up. I think it's going to be interesting to have 2 catchers right now. And right now, I think I have Rice as the backup catcher and backup first baseman, and Wells as your primary catcher. I think it's going to be interesting to have 2 left-handed catchers because you can't platoon. You're going to have these guys facing lefties, which is something they didn't like to do last year if they could avoid it. Giancarlo Stanton is going to be interesting next year. Giancarlo Stanton just turned 35 in November. Absolutely dominant in the postseason. 27 home runs during the regular season. 233 average. 417 at-bats. I would sign up for all those numbers again right now as long as he's healthy in the playoffs because I trust he's going to come through. The man is oblivious to pressure. Jazz Chisholm. Like I said, breakout candidate. Last year, 24 home runs. This year, I want 30, and I want a little more contact. Volpe, like I said, I think he'll take a step up. He needs to. Peraza right now is my everyday third baseman. Can't be worse than Josh Donaldson. Full stop. Judge is Judge. Just need him to show up in October one of these years. He'll probably hit 50-plus home runs and be an MVP candidate again if he's healthy. Bellinger, I think, could be closer to the 2023 version of Bellinger than he was in 2024. Once again, playing for a contract. Dominguez, we talked about. A lot of upside. The bench is a little too thin for my liking, so maybe they can make some improvements there. Grisham, though, solid outfielder. Maybe he can work with Dominguez. That's one of those in the margins places where it works to your advantage. DJ LeMahieu, like I said, if he wins the job, which I think he has the leg up right now because he's a veteran and he's paid, and he's got, a history of doing big things for the Yankees. If he wins the job and struggles, I think he gets DFA'd. Otherwise, if he doesn't win the job, I could see him DFA'd either way, and the Yankees could make an upgrade on the bench. So are they better? It's really hard to say. They're built more around pitching and defense at this point. They've got a solid mix of youth and veterans. They've got, a couple of young lefties that could do damage. Rice, Wells. It would be great if we had a prime Don Mattingly, but we just don't have that. And since it costs about $760 million to buy one, it's not easy to get one. Kyle Tucker also off the board, but free agent next year. I think this could work. I think given the lack of improvements in the American League in general, I think the Yankees still have a good shot. I think the Red Sox are stronger. The Orioles are weaker. They lost Corbin Burns. Well, they haven't lost him yet, but they're going to lose him. They're going to lose Santander. The Rays and Blue Jays are no threat, in my opinion. The AL Central is beatable. The Mariners still have no offense. The Astros are going to lose two of their best hitters in Bregman and Kyle Tucker. They're not going to be the same. Right now, I think the Yankees have every bit the chance to get to the World Series that they had last year. But the Dodgers, Padres, Phillies would all be formidable matchups. I don't think the Mets are there yet, but they're knocking on the door.